Every trip to the NBA Finals is different. What feels distinct to you about this one?
I think this one is just about all the hurdles that we had to jump over to get here. I think most people will look and say, oh, well, Kevin got hurt in the second round or DeMarcus got hurt in the first round. There were so many hurdles to even get to that point.
Right.
I think, when getting through over all those hurdles and, with all the noise that, we've heard this year,
right.
It makes this a little more special.
Really? Just getting there feels like a bigger deal?
It definitely feels like a bigger deal getting there. However, we've been here before, so, we're not getting there and, popping champagne. It is what it is,
right.
But it feels good. Obviously, we've felt good for, about a week, but it's time to get to work now. So, you put those feelings behind you, but it definitely feels good to get here.
You are coming into these finals on just an absolute tear, and part of that has been a credit to how in shape you are. How many pounds did you lose in just the last 2 months?
In the last 2 months, I've lost about 25 pounds. It's something that I knew I needed to do. If I wanted to have an impact on this team and this playoff run, I knew I needed to be in great shape. And it's something that since my rookie year I haven't struggled with.
Right.
I wouldn't even say I struggled with it this year.
Right.
I just struggled with so many different things that was kind of a direct effect of the injuries.
Yeah, well, you had a number of injuries.
Absolutely.
That you couldn't run around or do anything. They had you shooting in a chair at one point.
Absolutely. Ball handling in the chair, shooting in the chair. So I just knew that if I was going to be the player that I need to be in order for this team to be as great as we can be, that I needed to get in shape. And so it took a lot of mental, just focus, more so than anything, willpower. Giving up the things that I knew wouldn't be conducive to me reaching the weight that I needed to be at in order to play at the level I've been playing at.
All right, so give us the scoop. What did you give up?
I gave up, candy. I love potato chips.
Right.
I gave up chips.
What kind of candy?
I am. My fiance is a candy head, so she'll have the candy stocked up. You're talking cookies and cream Hershey's.
Right.
You're talking Reese's, gummy worms, whatever it is. But I gave all of that stuff up. Any fried foods, any pastas. For a while, I didn't even eat potatoes or anything. It was just really fruit, vegetables, and
you told
meat,
me that you
protein.
actually gave up wine.
I gave up wine. I gave up any liquor. 'Cause I knew that, if I gave those things up, I know how fast my body can change. And so I think that's one of the...
That is sacrifice, my friend, giving up wine and tequila.
It is sacrifice, but, if you want to do great things, you got to sacrifice something. And so, it's more fulfilling than just, playing well. Just to know you can give up things that you enjoy.
Right.
And have that willpower to continue to say, no, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. I think it definitely helps affect in other areas of your life.
Really? So it made you feel more confident or more sort of, hey, I can do anything I want?
It just made me feel more in control of everything.
Yeah.
And so I think, that's important. It's kind of having that self-control, that self-discipline, being able to regulate yourself. I think that's more important than just about anything.
Your play in the last round and a half is also influenced by the fact that Kevin Durant isn't on the court. How does your role as part of this team change when he's not playing?
It completely changes. I have to be more of a scoring threat when Kevin's not out there. I have to, I really try to push the pace more when he's not out there. When Kevin's out there, we all have the luxury of just saying, okay, that set didn't work. We still got this guy to just throw a ball to and get out the way. That luxury isn't there anymore. And also I think, with Kevin being out, we're trying to make up 37 points a game.
Right.
We're not going to make those 37 points a game up just by walking the ball up the floor and thinking we're going to have the same thrust in running a set as if Kevin is on the floor. So how do you make up those points? Get extra possessions, get the pace to where you want it to be, get some easy buckets.
Right.
That's how you make it up. And so I kind of took it up on myself to make sure that I'm pushing the pace, so that our team is getting off and running and taking advantage of transition opportunities.
Of all the players who had to trim back their game when Kevin came to this team, it's pretty obvious from watching you this last week or two just how much you've sacrificed for the good of the whole. What does it feel like to finally kind of just get a chance to let your whole game out for at least a round or so?
I think it feels great, just to play your game, show your entire game. And saying that, I wouldn't change that for anything in the world, having Kevin on this team. And it's been great for us. We've won 2 championships in the 2 years that he's played and 2 full seasons that he's played. And we're on a way to a possible 3rd in the 3rd year of him playing. You can only hope to do that.
Right.
So what do? We say, okay, Kevin's not here. He doesn't come here. I continue to play the way I play. And you're only hoping to win championships.
Right,
so we've done that. And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of those teams, and that's what matters most. But in saying that, it's great to show my whole game and show what I'm capable of, but I wouldn't change the sacrifices that I've made and will continue to make for nothing, because we've still reached the goal, and that's what's most important.
That's what I think is sometimes missing in these conversations about Kevin these last couple weeks. Obviously, he makes you a better team. He's what a lot of people think is the best player in the world. What he makes you guys is a certainty. Think about the percentage of playoff games you've won since he's been there. You've won 100% of the available NBA titles. The way you played the last couple weeks, you're not a certainty to win. Is there any more fun in playing when the game feels it's more on the line versus, okay, we are pretty much inevitable here?
I wouldn't necessarily say more fun, but it's just like anything in life. If you go into something with a little more uncertainty, when you come out of it, it feels a little better.
Right.
Because you got over the doubt. Whatever doubt it was that you were facing, you got over that. When Kevin's with us, I walk into the arena and I know how this game is going to go. Mm-hmm. I know we're going to win. And whatever else you want to add into that, I know that already.
Right.
When he's not, I'm still extremely confident that we're going to win. I'm still extremely confident that we're the best team walking in. But you got to figure a little more out in order to win, as opposed to when he's out there. And so I think it gives you a little more joy initially when you finish that game. So you may have seen us over the course of the last few weeks celebrate the Houston series in the second round a little bit more than we would normally celebrate a second round series win. You may have seen us celebrate sweeping Portland a little bit more than we would normally celebrate sweeping someone, because it's a different feeling. You walk into those games and it's like, we're very confident that we're going to win.
Right.
But it's not as certain as it is when Kevin is with us.
Right. How have you worked over these last few weeks to make Kevin feel included?
I personally don't really put too much thought into making Kevin feel included, because this is his team. He's a part of this. Everything we've done here, he's a part of. So I think there's so much noise that comes about, are they better or worse without Kevin? Can we stop the conversation because it's idiotic?
Right.
Do we play a different brand of basketball when Kevin's not out there? Absolutely. Sure. But you'd be idiotic to think that we shouldn't.
Right.
We have to play a different brand of basketball. But the whole notion of are they better or worse with or with, that's where all the noise comes from. And so it's y'all need to keep Kevin a part of it. Well, I disagree with that, because Kevin is a part of this. Mm-hmm. He's been a part of this. And everybody else kind of creates the narrative of, it's us, and then it's Kevin, or it's the Warriors, and then it's the Warriors with KD. No, it's still the same team. Now, if he's not out there, then we have to make up for what he's not doing when he's not out there, but we're still the same team. And so I don't really put much effort into making sure he feels a part of it, because I've also been hurt.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is you're not all the way a part of it.
Yeah.
You are there sometimes physically when you're there.
Right.
You're there emotionally. You're even there mentally.
Right.
But you're physically there on the bench. You're physically there in the locker room. You can't go out there and do what you love. So to sit and essentially waste time and us trying to say, let's make sure Kevin feels a part of this. No, he is a part of this. Right. We wouldn't be where we are if he wasn't a part of this. But we do have to go out and play the game and focus on that, and he has to focus on rehabbing.
Right.
We can't have him oh, he needs to put all his focus into the game.
Right.
No, he needs to put all his focus into rehab
get it back
and
on the
try
court.
to get back in the game. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of my mindset with it all.
Yeah.
I take his advice, I take his, his opinion and, the thoughts that he has about the game, whether it's before the game, whether it's after, whether it's at halftime, and try to, make sure we're doing those things that he sees.
Yeah.
But to sit and say, oh, we need to make sure Kevin feels a part of this. Well, to the world, he may not be a part of it, but to us, he's been a part of it.
The whole time.
And that's just what it is.
I was interested in something you said earlier about your relationship with KD. You were talking about the very public disagreement you guys had back in the fall on the bench against the Clippers. And you said that afterward, Kevin said to you, hey, everyone's saying, oh, Draymond's just emotional, but I'm not letting you get away with that being the reason this happened. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone wanted me to go to Kevin, say, hey, man, I'm sorry.
Right.
And everybody, maybe Kevin.
Yeah.
But the organization, the world, everyone wanted me to go to Kevin and say, I apologize, man, I'm sorry. And even, like I said, our organization, I told them, no, I'm not doing that because it's not the time for that. I go up to him the next day and say, hey, man, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first off, you need to let time do its job.
Yeah.
And when the time is right, I'll feel that, and it'll be genuine. But what I wasn't going to do is I wasn't going to go to Kevin the next day and say I'm sorry because everybody wanted me to. Mm-hmm. No, it's going to genuinely happen. And when it genuinely happens, everything will correct itself.
Right.
But if we force it, it won't correct itself. And so after a while, I finally went and I talked to Kevin. Mm-hmm. And when I talked to him, I said, hey, man, that probably wasn't the right way to handle that.
Right.
This, that, and the other. Sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me, and in that situation I did. And he said, he listened.
Yeah.
Everything I said, he listened.
Right.
And then he spoke. He said, well, first off, everybody keeps saying, oh, Draymond's emotional, and that's just Draymond. He said, as your brother, I'm not giving you that out.
Right.
I'm not giving you that excuse to use because I've seen you in every situation, and I've seen how you handle yourself. And when you're in the playoffs, you're not emotional. Like, yeah, you play with emotion, but you're not emotional. And that's an excuse that everyone kind of allow you to have, and I'm not allowing you to use that excuse anymore. Mm-hmm. And that was big for me because, I mean, I'm not sure if any teacher told you, hey, like, I'm giving you an excused absence.
Right.
Don't come to class today. I'm not sure many people that went, so you're going to take the excuse. And so for me, that was big in my growth and just him saying that because you can think what you want to think when you hear from someone else, and when you hear from, and especially when you hear something from someone that opinion matters to you, mm-hmm. It registers different.
Yep.
And so that was a big step for me in my self-growth, just obviously going through all those things, but him saying that, it kind of made me look at things from a different perspective.
The thing that you were upset about still exists. His free agency is still an issue. Some of the things you said that night made it seem like you were frustrated with this feeling of holding the franchise hostage. How have those feelings played out through the season? I
think I just kind of have looked at it from a different perspective. When it wasn't necessarily that him being a free agent bothered me. Mm-hmm. We all go through that in this profession. It was more so the fact of, are you with us or not? That bothered me. Okay. And when you live in the day and age that we live in, mm-hmm. Everything that he heard about his free agency, I heard. Sure. The difference in everything he heard and what I hear is you are certain of everything because mm-hmm. It's you. Right. I am uncertain of everything because it's not me. And so for me, it was less about, oh, you're a free agent next summer. Next summer, I'll be a free agent. Like, mm-hmm. I think that's something we all will go through when you're a part of the life that we live. Your profession is our profession. And so it wasn't necessarily that. But what I will say is, after I had that moment, one thing Kevin told me is, dude, you have to block out all of that. Like,
right.
You see me coming here and work every day. You see me give my all to this team. You see everything, every second of everything. The media is going to say what they want, but you see everything. You know I'm here. You know I'm with you. And it allowed me to focus on that. It allowed me to focus on what I see,
right.
what I can control, and not what I can't see per se, and what I can't control. And so I think that was just the point for me of where I had to look at it from a different standpoint. I had to stop listening to all the noise.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point the noise gets to all of us.
Sure.
But once I stopped listening to all the noise and focused on the task at hand, he was still the same guy out here busting his tail every day before practice, every day after practice. Every drill he does, he go 110%. Every time he steps in the game, he's giving all that he got. How about let's focus on that and not focus on what everyone was saying.
We're getting close now. I know you have a whole NBA Finals to play, but free agency is basically a month away. Do you have a feeling of what he's going to do?
I haven't even really concerned myself with trying to have a feeling with what he's going to do, because our mission is to win a championship every year. And if he's only here for 3 years and we win a championship all 3 of those years, we completed our mission.
Right.
So why not focus on that mission as opposed to trying to focus on keeping the mission going?
It's a very polished answer.
And so, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. So many times we want to look at what's to come.
Right.
And not focus on what's going on right now. And so for me, it's like, how about we focus on the mission of winning 3 championships in 3 years? And then once we complete that, we can focus on extending the mission. And even, by the way, if we complete the mission and he does decide to leave, then okay, we did some great things together, and you wish everyone well. But let's at least feel good about the mission we started. Let's finish that mission.
Let's talk about the Raptors. What have you noticed from their playoff run so far?
They have a great player in Kawhi Leonard.
You're a very savvy basketball evaluator of talent, if you can come up with that.
They have a great player in Kawhi. And I think Kawhi has shown us all something, this year, and especially throughout these playoffs. For so many years, you can say, oh, he's a product of that system or this, that, and the other. He's shown us all something in this playoffs. And I think he's shown the ability to carry that team. Mm-hmm. They have a bunch of guys, Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol, savvy basketball players, Danny Green, savvy, play hard, do their job. Mm-hmm. They have a bunch of young talent who's still looking to prove themselves. They have a great mixture of veterans, of talent, of youth. They have a great mix. And I think it's a team that's overcome some things. They've seen in just about every series they've played, is this the Toronto we thought we'd see where they don't show up and this, that, and the other? They've overcome all of that. So they're battle tested. And they're having a magical run. It's on us to now focus on the task at hand, know what we're good at, try to go out there and put together great performance and end that magical run for them. But I think they're having a special run.
The last time you saw Kawhi Leonard in a playoff game was a couple years ago in San Antonio. Zaza Pachulia comes down on his foot. The Spurs thought they had a good shot of knocking you out that year. Do you think Kawhi is going to carry any of that over into funneling and trying to beat you this year?
I don't know. I mean, possibly, but I personally don't think that Spurs team had a chance of beating us. They were playing well that game. It's a 7-game series. But nonetheless.
Are you going to hear it when he's getting involved? He has a knack for getting involved with opposing players on the sidelines, that sort of thing? Maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes you just kind of locked in on the game and you really don't hear or see much else other than that game. Sometimes you do. We'll see. But Drake is not a part of my focus going into this series. It's just like any other fan that attends a game.
Yeah.
You go on the road, fans, they bark all night. He's no different. So I'm not preparing for Drake.
I don't think he's going to go rub your shoulders the way he rubbed Nick Nurse's shoulders. He might try to offer you a Snickers to get you off your diet or something, though.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You feel good?
I'm great.
Do you feel ready for this finals?
Absolutely. We've been waiting for a while now. What's this, day 7? Day 6 or 7?
9 days in between.
Yeah, so, we've been waiting for a while, but, I'm excited about the opportunity that's ahead of us. I feel very confident about the opportunity that we have, and, it's on us to go out there and take advantage of it. Not often do you get a chance to play in 5 straight finals. Not often you get a chance to three-peat, so we got to make sure we're locked in and take advantage of the opportunity.
If you do win, are you going to let yourself have some candy, maybe a little champagne to celebrate?
A bunch of candy.